This week on Across the Arrowverse, we build up to Crisis and maybe some other things happen. It's the first 8 episodes of Flash Season 6. Hi everybody, and welcome to Across the Arrowverse. We're back for the 2019-2020 seasons of the Arrowverse shows. I'm your host, Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Vose.
So we're kicking off with Flash. We're going to do something similar to what we did last season, where we'll watch chunks of each of the shows, centered around the big crossover in the middle. So we're going to start off with the Flash, because we like the Flash.
We love the Flash, but I think what we should also share is this is somewhat of a Catherine's memory challenge, as it has now been maybe 3.5 weeks,
something like that.
So we watched these 8 episodes of the Flash while we were having a lovely, quite calm holiday, with the great intention of recording almost as soon as we got home. That did not happen.
No, other things have happened.
Other slightly more concerning world events have happened, but. Now that we're in a routine, we are going to watch and we're going to record and we're going to think of Flash-type superhero matters at least an hour a day.
See how much we can get through whilst on lockdown, and for both of us, the world has become incredibly busy.
Yes.
You would have hoped that being locked down, we'd be like, oh, great, we can watch all those shows we want to watch. We've had no time for it, so we're hoping to get back on that and get you some content.
Yes.
So, Flash... These are the 8 episodes starting season 6, which are called Into the Void, A Flash of Lightning, Dead Man Running, There Will Be Blood, Kiss Kiss Breach Breach, License to Elongate.
I like that one.
And The Last Temptation of Barry Allen, Parts 1 and 2.
Nice.
Any overall thoughts? Where do you want to kick off your conversation with your memorising memory stuffs?
My memorising memory stuff. Well, my memorising memory stuff is left with one overwhelming memory, which is I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
So I feel that certainly the first half of season 6 for The Flash was a good experience.
Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing more Flash.
Right. What in there has remained with you when you look back on it and think, oh yeah, there was that story or that character? Is it all just Crisis build-up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And actually, so I've written down my discussion points.
Nice.
This is our meeting agenda.
Look at you all organised. I love it.
Well, I'm sitting in the space I've been sitting to work for the last 3 weeks. So, this is like one of my workplace meetings, except I can see you face to face in front of me. So my first discussion point was Killer Frost versus Caitlin. The driving seat. Discuss.
Okay.
Do we think that
in this essay, I will.
Exactly. Do we think that it's appropriate for Killer Frost to be given the control as the main personality and push Caitlin to the background? Is she equally important as a personality, or is she a sort of a sidekick facet of Caitlin's mind?
I think they're very well established it, and I quite like it, the way they've done it, that they are 2 characters with slightly different drives and ambitions and views on things, so that's quite nice, although there's a lot of psychology going on there. This absolutely could be she just has these powers. And I think a series or 2 ago they did hint at possibly merging them and doing a bit more, but they've clearly gone as this is now, what's the actress's name? Danielle Panabaker, playing 2 different characters. It's a bit hard, it's hard for me to think of these things in any context except for Crisis.
Right.
Because for me, the show is setting up for Crisis. It's had a villain, it's had some of these other plots going on, but that's been the driving force this season, which is quite interesting. I didn't expect this to be the show to do that. So in those terms, yes... Caitlin is very smart and knows a lot of stuff and has worked on all these things and metas and so on. No one else can do what Killer Frost does. Or what is she called? Is she just called Frost now?
Yeah, I think she's just called Frost, perhaps.
She's the only one who can do what she can do. So, there are other people who can do sciencey with stuff.
So I agree that in the context of building up to crisis, and in the context of who might be the top trump that you'd want to keep the card of for your superhero, I definitely agree that Frost has probably a bit more uniqueness in her skill set than Caitlin. I suppose I was just thinking more in the context of whose life is it?
Right.
Is it Caitlin's life and Killer Frost just needs to sit dormant? Or is it Killer Frost's life? Or should they somehow be 50-50? What happens if each of them falls in love with someone different?
Well, interesting.
It's just I just thought this could be quite a sort of maybe I'm just picking up on one very minor point and overthinking it. But it's like it's quite like who if they want to buy a house, who signs the mortgage papers?
Well, I mean, from that perspective, Caitlin's the one who has all the ID and is alive. She has a social security number, things like that. But is this why they gave us that whole thing that Frost had always been with her? So the shot of her when she was a child turning into Frost. So it's this thing of, it's not just something that's turned up recently. It's not like the Flash and his powers.
Yeah.
The Flash and his secret identity, that kind of thing. This is actually a different aspect of her personality, of her.
Yeah. It just intrigued me.
Interesting.
I quite enjoyed. Well, I will keep that qualifier there. Okay. I quite enjoyed Frost coming out. I think some of what they did was a little heavy-handed.
Right.
I can't. There was something. I seem to remember something to do with exploring her emotions through art, and I was just like, "Oh yes, this is kind of funny. It's also kind of. Can we give this airtime to a different part of the plot, please?"
Because we did also have a whole period where she was Killer Frost for a whole chunk of time, working for Katie Sackhoff.
Who needs to come back? I love Katie Sackhoff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like she would already have been through some of this stuff. It's interesting. Because they're treating her like a new person rather than an aspect of an existing person.
Yeah.
Very much how they want us to think of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've never really discussed this in terms of things like the Hulk and Bruce Banner. Because that very definitely says these are two different characters.
Yes, and until Ragnarok, I've always thought of it as Bruce Banner's life, and the Hulk comes out at either inconvenient or convenient moments. But when normal life is happening, the Hulk is packed away. If you know what I mean. And actually, up till now, that's kind of how I've thought of Caitlin and Killer Frost.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that Frost is getting some normal life as well as moments of extremity.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. It's been good. Right, what else? What else has stood out for you?
I share Cisco's feelings on Barry's seeming passivity about the idea that he's just going to die in crisis.
Okay.
I mean, I know it wasn't total passivity, and I know that he did his whole timey-wimey, let's look at every single possible version of the future thing, and then he's going, oh yeah, okay, so fine, I'm going to die. Now let's crack on. And I share a little bit Cisco, or empathise with Cisco's wanting to rage against this passivity of Barry's. Right. Snuck around and gone completely against Barry's wishes. I think I'd have done a lot more trying to convince him to try and not just accept it.
Yeah, it feels very much like it's a story perspective that they're having to force in because they want us to believe Barry's going to die.
Yeah.
To either make it interesting of they must save him because they've set us up so much for it, or so it's a surprise and a relief when something different happens, or to explain something that happens. I feel, again, it feels like setup, but I have enjoyed Cisco taking the reins a bit more.
Yes.
Although it means Iris isn't. And that was the thing we liked about Iris taking charge.
Yes, I can accept though that different people need to take charge at different points. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of got the whole thing of, well, if Iris is trusting Barry and what Barry says, she knows that these may be the last weeks that she's spending with Barry, and so she's investing time in that. But she's also got her reporter thing kicking off, hasn't she?
True, yeah, she's running the paper now.
So I don't feel that Iris has been sidelined because they're just ignoring her. I feel that Iris's role is sort of developing in a different way.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
nice.
I must say that I think the whole thing of is Barry going to die, is Barry not going to die? I remember when we were watching it, I think it's sort of really more inspiring us to go, well, how can both things be true?
Yeah.
Like, what is the twist that's going to happen that means that Barry, or rather the Flash, dies, but yet the series can continue?
Yeah. That's where I think there might be some element of duality of he just is now going to be Barry Allen, not the Flash. Possibly, maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
I am genuinely looking forward to finding out. So we're going to have to do some heavy TV watching.
We are.
Super quick. Forget this work business. I'm not sure they'll forget me. But,
I've been quite impressed that they've done so much work setting up how big Crisis is going to be without actually setting up what's going to happen. Except for Barry Allen dying. I don't know what is actually coming outside of the comics, which I'm expecting to be fundamentally different.
Yeah, and who is this Monitor dude? Like, I am left, and I can't remember the exact details of why, but I'm left with a feeling of, is the Monitor actually as good and faithful a sort of a source of truth as he has appeared to be in the previous ones? I think this new, in fact that's one on my list. I've jumped a few points, but we can circle back.
Absolutely, we'll park it for now.
Exactly. This new version of Wells, Nash Wells. I don't like him.
Oh really? Okay.
Well, so I don't like him as in he's not got a place in my heart in the way that some of the other Wells have. I mean, I don't want to poke him with pencils like I did with that awful irritating one that died. I can't remember what he ended up being called. Oh, what was he called? HR. Didn't like him at all. He irritated me.
Yeah, no, he's been a really interesting one. He's bringing something different.
Yeah.
And he's giving, is it Tom Cavanaugh? The chance to do that bit more sort of growly Machiavellian, like he did in the first season, more than playing the character.
Exactly.
Big showy stuff.
Yeah, and it's just very interesting because we still don't know what is his agenda and what is his relationship with the Monitor. What's he going to be doing in Crisis?
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah. So that I've liked.
Okay.
My next point. I've just put Ralph. I like Ralph, and it's so funny to think back as to how much we hated his character when he first started. And now I'm just like, oh, it's Ralph! Ralph on screen! Excellent! I really liked it when they went to the party and there was sort of double James Bonding.
The license to elongate.
Yeah, that was really good, really good.
And again, quite a nice thing of having that thought of he didn't need the Flash. He knew Barry Allen and that aspect of it, which was very well done. It was a very fun episode.
Yes.
It was done very nicely. It's interesting, the whole thing with him tracking down Sue is clearly an ongoing long-term story.
I can't remember Sue. Who is this Sue?
Just a woman he's tracking down.
So we don't have. There is no background to that we know.
On the TV show, there is no background to what this person is. I think she's just a person he's tracking.
I shall squirrel that away in my nuggets of conversation to file.
Yeah, no, they've done him with a very light touch, which is fair because obviously you've got the sort of 4 or 5 main characters, but we've now got a much bigger supporting cast, I think, than we've had before. Because obviously last season focused a lot on Nora, but this season we've got Cecile, doing Cecile things every so often. We've got the girl with the electromagnetic stuff doing stuff every so often.
Yep.
Whose name I now can't remember.
No idea. But yes, I like that.
We've got Cisco's girlfriend coming in doing stuff, who I'm expecting to become something.
Yeah.
She feels like a bigger part of this world. It feels like they've sort of expanded it a little bit more. So I think although he's gone back a bit... Oh, of course, we got the new guy, the Black Hole dude, who's been in a box all season so far.
Oh, yes!
Who seemed quite fun.
Yeah, he did. I hope they bring him out of his box and make him part of the gang. I've enjoyed the scenes so far.
Yeah. He's definitely out of the box because they then put the evil blood doctor dude in the box.
Didn't they?
So let's talk the evil blood doctor dude.
Yeah,
because this has been the plot.
So he was the big bad, but he doesn't seem to be a big bad. He doesn't seem to be necessarily involved in Crisis bad.
We just need to get to Crisis.
Yeah.
And,
Because I've written down Ramsey Rosso. Good intent or super selfish? I think super selfish, really. I know he keeps talking about I'm the cure, but actually he just wants to stay alive and be powerful. Basically.
Yeah.
So, he turned into something called Bloodwork?
Something like that, yeah.
And he did something sort of psychotic and
zombie dudes.
And he somehow got Barry stuck in his own brain.
Yes, because when they gave some of Barry's super healing blood to Ralph, some of the evil blood got into Barry, and you then had that episode in Barry's head, which, and the Flash has done that sort of episode a number of times, but I did quite enjoy it. The discussion of which way is it going to go. Okay,
so this is where I've written, last 2 episodes, ? I can't remember what happened. I just remembered that Barry came out of his head and Bloodwork was vanquished.
So, there's a whole thing of, and it is that, the temptation of Barry, whether he will side with Bloodwork because he knows that even more power will do them good in crisis and will help him save his family. The Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker deal, effectively. Or does he side with the Speed Force in the form of his mother to try and stop Bloodwork?
Right.
And he appears to side with Bloodwork, but it's effectively the Esme Weatherwax dosing thing. That Bloodwork starts then being affected by Barry in some ways. Right. Which is why he lets Cisco go. I think he lets Caitlin go at one point. And Barry is able to make him see his own mother, which is what gives him pause for a moment. And Barry puts him in the box that the black hole dude was in, which is a way of containing him and giving him to Argus.
Okay, excellent. So do we think he's now just gone? Because, I'd be more comfortable that he was just gone if he was dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So shipping him off to Argus and putting him in the hands of people that we... maybe trust? Maybe not sure we trust. Given didn't half of them end up getting sold off as meta slaves?
Yeah.
So
do I believe he's gone? No.
Yeah.
Do I think he's coming back this season? I'm not sure.
You don't think they've just put him on ice for Crisis?
Possibly. I mean, it could be an interesting thing because he's clearly an evil dude now. So I could see that coming into it. But I feel like there is going to be so much in Crisis. I don't think they're going to have room for anything more than the core. The world is about to be destroyed and we need to team up.
Fair enough.
With everyone.
With everyone under the sun.
Yeah. Flipping Black Lightning and the
Black Lightning. Are we going to watch Black Lightning again?
We're not going to watch this show, but Black Lightning is in the crossover.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the animated Batman's turning up for
Wow.
Not the animated Batman. That was a facetious joke. I thought
you might
laugh more when I made mine.
Well, having watched the Into the Spider-Verse, I'm totally all over different forms of anime. Oh, okay, I believe you.
but Kevin Conroy, who did the voice of Batman in basically everything for the last 20, 30 years, he is going to be in as one of the older Batmen.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. After talking about that, the blood work, the only thing I've got is really another line about Cisco.
Okay.
Cisco, will he get his powers back?
Ooh, interesting. Because there was a hint of it, wasn't there? Do you think... I was about to ask whether they want to give him his powers back, but they wouldn't have written the hint that he could get them back if they didn't want to give them to him.
But I can't. He genuinely himself made a volitional choice to have them taken away from him.
Absolutely.
I guess the reasoning. Why would he want them back if he thought it could save Barry?
Right. Yeah.
That for me is why he might want them back, because I can't imagine so soon after him having made that absolute heartfelt choice to have them removed so he could concentrate on being sciencey computer dude.
Yep.
I can't believe he'd go, oh, go on, give them back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there was a proper reason behind it, maybe, and particularly if we are looking the whole team up thing, getting people from other universes, maybe. Although part of the point of this is you don't necessarily need to vibe across multiverses if the multiverse is destroyed. So
absolutely, and hasn't he got a vibey gun thing?
Yeah, they've got a doohickey.
Yeah,
that allows them to, but
it's super convenient.
Yeah, but he can't vibe people to read minds and so on.
Fair enough.
That's the big difference, isn't it? I almost don't care.
Yeah.
I feel like Sisko, they've done a lot with him, almost more than they should have.
I think I'd agree with the first half of that. I'm not sure about the second half. I really like Sisko character. He's one of my favourite characters. Right. And I've very much enjoyed watching him sort of grow and change. Like, I think the Sisko that we've got now is very different from the Sisko we had at the very start.
Yeah.
You know, he's a much more mature character. I love that they've given him a proper, sensible relationship.
Okay.
You know, if you think we started off in terms of he was lusting after everyone, including Captain Cold's
all the evil
hot
people.
sister, all the evil women, and then he had a nice relationship with Gypsy, but that was sort of doomed to not work out in the end. And now he's got a nice relationship with someone who's actually sort of seems to be in the same world, wanting the same sort of life, and it's all. I like that. I mean, I don't know where they can go. I feel like he can now be a bit more of a background character.
Well, and this is why I would appreciate it if it was he's in charge, or a fundamental change to the character that allows some different stuff to come in.
Yeah.
I think my feel is we've done some of these beats with him before.
Right.
Anguishing over someone who's died, in a new relationship and dealing with all that malarkey, falling out with Barry.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy for the relationship, for that just to be a stable thing now.
Yeah.
And maybe we can spend some time exploring her, as you've said.
Absolutely.
A bit like we are with Joe and Cecile.
Well, I was about to say, and a bit like we are with their baby. Their baby's fine, it's in bed.
Yeah, right. There are points where you're like, do they have a living nanny? Is that the deal?
Right. Oh, fish, I forgot the baby.
Exactly. Oh, dear. Yeah, that's all I've got, apart from to say that their pop culture references were written for you and I. It's very interesting that the characters are a little younger than me, certainly. I'm not going to tell you, but yet they seem to have the same pop culture interests, which makes me think, are they aiming the show at an age range in between the age of those characters and people like us?
I think CW definitely pitch at the millennial audience and young Gen Xers.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is a show that has gone in the way like Arrow tried. Oh, in fact, that was a thing we want to talk about. The way that Arrow tried to incorporate new, younger people, after 4 or 5 seasons. And it was just, hey, here's 4 or 5 new people. And we're going to deal with them all at once.
Yeah.
Whereas this, in terms of having that ensemble and having a wider group to work with, who are a bit younger than their core heroes, our core stars, have all been integrated one by one.
Yes, it was much more deft hand.
Yeah, it's been much nicer in the way they've done it. So I appreciate it on that terms. And it means they've brought them in, so they're sort of keeping some of that CW vibe without necessarily having to age people up and deal with relationships that the CW doesn't necessarily do. Because it does dating and, do we move in together, do we get married? That's the discussion they often do.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do we think Iris is pregnant?
I'm gambling on a post-crisis baby.
Okay.
As in, I don't think that's probably a storyline that's right now.
No, but if Barry is going to go in crisis, and she's going to have children with him...
Is this why they keep disappearing off?
But if that's going to happen, she needs to be pregnant now, really, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, you're right. Barry's not going to die in crisis.
Okay, is that your stake for this?
Absolutely. Right. I am on the Barry's not going to die. The Flash may go.
Okay, they might destroy the Speed Force or something.
Yeah, or at least it gets lost from him.
Okay. Any other predictions? Any other thoughts of what's coming?
I think that the Monitor is not the good person he thinks he makes himself out to be.
Okay.
And I think that Harrison Nash Wells will ultimately save the day.
Right. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, that'll be interesting.
How about you? What are your predictions?
Or
do you know?
I only know having read the comics, so I do not know what they're doing in this thing.
Yeah.
I have not been spoiled on Crisis, which is good.
Good.
Touch wood. Although it's on in the UK this week, so it's going to start getting harder soon. I don't know. I don't know what's coming. think there is scope for someone dying of those core: Caitlin, Cisco, Iris, Barry, Joe. And it feels like Joe, doesn't it? Or Cisco.
Joe is the least relevant and
most settled and happy.
Most settled and happy, and the actor reputedly most prone to back issues.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
Get him in for a flashback once or twice a season every so often, or Speed Force vision.
It would seem hard for him and for Cecile to suddenly be.
Can't let people be happy in a show, though, can you? Yeah.
Is there a way of keeping Joe alive, but making it so that he can't be part of their world anymore?
Maybe. Whatever. When we get to Arrow, whatever's happened to Oliver, seems equivalent to that.
Yeah, this is true. So, we know that Oliver's going to die, apparently.
Yes.
And the Flash is going to die.
Yes.
Apparently.
And it sounded like the Oliver had to make a deal for the lives of 2 superheroes. Because there was also the hint that Supergirl might die.
So is Oliver's deal not yet part of the timeline?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the potential timelines?
I think the idea is that he will return at Crisis. Now,
right.
There are 7-8 episodes of Arrow to watch before Crisis, so we will get to them.
Good!
This is why we started with The Flash.
Yes, you've suckered me in.
So let's talk about the start of Flash.
Yep.
The fact they had the song Flash from Queen in that opening sequence.
I forgot
Finally,
about
after 5 years.
I forgot about that. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like a sort of victory lap, almost. We've made it. This is going to be the big one. Let's get into it now.
There's been a sense of oomph about this season. Mm-hmm. It's a season with purpose and excitement and enthusiasm about what it's doing, as opposed to a season that's just thinking up another silly plot to fill a show.
Yeah, for the most part, it's felt like they almost haven't had enough time to set up what they want to set up. But yet we had the whole episode on Earth 3 with him looking into the future, which felt like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bit of filler. But every character has had an episode.
Yep.
And everyone's gotten a thing to do. So they've put us into quite a nice place, I think.
I agree.
Okay, so we've got Supergirl next, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're most excited to see that.
Super, tonight.
We've got Arrow. After that.
We have. Arrow exists.
Not tonight.
And no, I don't think there are enough hours left in my waking day to get through all of the Supergirl episodes, and then the idea of starting Arrow at 10 p.m. Yeah, I know. I have promised that I will watch all of Arrow this season, and I shall.
Starts with Crisis,
right?
So basically, Legends and Arrow will swap over.
Fair enough.
And about to start airing over here, and her episode 9 is Crisis, so we're going to need to do some.
I would like to watch Batwoman.
Yeah, we're either going to need to look at how our timings work, or watch one of her episodes out of order if we can't get to them first before getting to Crisis. But
yeah,
we'll see the timings on the rest of them.
Yep, absolutely.
If you listen to this, don't spoil Crisis for us. But if you haven't seen it, or you want to make some predictions, if you want to feed in some thoughts and things we should be picking up on, do feel free to look us up on Twitter. At Eloquent Gushing. I'm at Matthew Vose.
I think I'm at Kendo Cat.
You are indeed at Kendo Cat.
I may or may not respond. I'm not that great at Twitter.
Or use the hashtag ATAV to send us a message for Across the Arrowverse. Or Argentina, Terra di Amor in Vicenza.
Di Amor in Vicenza.
So next time we'll be back with the first few episodes of Supergirl season 5?
Many. Season many.
Something. And until then, we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.